the question is, does a Braum jump up for TSM on this side, even though, there it is, the GP was the big thing that we talked about. Someday undefeated this split on it, 19 KDA, a little bit lower than that after that last game, but he was still a 13 KDA last game.
Yeah, first two bans are the same, but the GP adaptation is nice there for TSM. There's Olaf, though, going to be 100 Thieves' last ban.
All right, so they don't want to let Grig take that either. First pick priority going to be off the table as well. Let's see what the switch is here once again, because last time around, TSM, they went with the blind pick Rise, and they had already shown that they would swap Rise to the top side and use it as a flex pick, so it didn't really catch 100 Thieves off guard, right? They still banned out more mid laners in the second phase, and it wasn't any sort of a big speed bump. Continuing on here, though, should be the same strategy. Again, they want to build around Kai'Sa. That's not a big surprise here for TSM. That late game carry has been big for Sven.
Yeah, and the fact that it's against 100 Thieves. Your games are probably going to go late as 100 Thieves and TSM, so the Kai'Sa will ramp up. And 100 Thieves, even though the Shen was banned last game again from them, and it's open now, they still go for the Alistar.
Yeah, and this, like you said, there were multiple other extra support bans that came through targeting Aphromoo. He wants his hands on the Alistar, and this time they're going to get Trist on top of it. That is a kill lane that we have seen used so effectively. Alistar WQs in, Tristana rocket jumps on the target, right on their head, explode the explosive shot, and it's a huge amount of burst damage, even early on in the lane before you buy items.
Yeah, because it got buffed at one point where it was, hey, the rocket jump's going to do more damage if you land on them, kind of incentivizing you to be aggressive, but it leaves the Braum up. That's something that was banned away last game against Aphromoo. So the pick of the litter, Mithy says, all right, it's time to pull that champion out. And alongside the Kai'Sa, Rageblade stacks up the Braum passive faster and gives you the 2 stacks. So all Braum has to do is apply it, and then if you have the stacked Rageblade, it's 2 shots instead of 3 to get the stun.
It doesn't seem like something nearly as defensive as, say, Gragas or Shen, so I like this change from Mithy. Also, suddenly Sion has appeared. That was a very quick rotation there for TSM, as they'll take that, presumably, for Haunter in the top lane.
Yeah, the Sion we've seen rising in priority, actually, and it also, the Glacial Augment is a rune that we've seen a lot from it now. We used to see a lot more Comet previously, for harassment in lane, but it's been a lot more about frontline utility as well as the all-in. Once you turn into a zombie and have these slows with your auto attacks, makes it hard to get away. You can sustain longer as the zombie as well, being able to hit those people. So it does make kind of a difficult situation on the front line if you kind of have to work through a Sion and then work around to where his zombie's going to come up.
And I believe one of the things that was buffed about Sion was how much HP he gets for actually killing minions, kind of de-incentivizing him for being a support and making it more incentive for him to actually be a laner. And we saw him reemerge. There's been like changes to the Q in terms of damage. So a lot of people, instead of maxing the E, they'll go for the Q, but I feel like this is still an E max Sion right now, where you just want the pass-through damage, the wave clear of it, instead of, we've seen some crazy things in solo queue.
Yeah, and this time around, since they already are showing the Sion, I do like this Trundle pickup where you're guaranteed gonna have a good source of defensive stats to pull from. Like you said, there are some changes around incentivizing it being a top lane tank, like with a decent amount of money, with some good stats, and Trundle will have a pretty much guaranteed target to try and buff himself with.
Quickly recap the bans here in Phase 2. Sejuani Aurelia on the 100 Thieves side, and Syndra with one more to come there. It was LeBlanc last time, I believe, so we'll see if TSM want to keep that out of Ryu's hands once more, or maybe even think about blinding it. TSM did choose blue side, so Bjergsen will not get the pleasure of a counterpick this game, but it is going to be the LeBlanc, kind of as expected.
Okay, with the Akali, Aurelia, and LeBlanc all banned, you know what the other assassin is that Bjergsen has already played that we had in our stats of his 10-2 record? It is Talon.
Talon, oh.
And I don't expect that one to come back out because it has changed since we actually saw him use it, but that was the most previous one, and it is just going to be the general list here. Rise picked up for Ryu. This has been one of his strongest champions, honestly.
Yeah. Strong champion for him, allows him to 1-3-1, and it allows it to also be a flex pick potentially for someday, because we just saw them do that on TSM side. So this is a very strong pick in your 4th slot here as the red side, because then you can flex it around. You don't necessarily get counterpicked in the top lane, and you force them to pick things in both top and in the bottom.
All right!
And nice!
Vel'Koz.
though.
It's not an assassin, but it does a lot of damage. Vel'Koz here picked up once again He has really good wave clear if you max the W and fire off 2 Ws straight through the minion line. And then, of course, your true damage coming through with the laser for team fights if you can avoid getting interrupted. The problem is a Trundle is already difficult to deal with because the pillar, you can save that and use that to disrupt the Vel'Koz later on. It's good for ganking of Vel'Koz as well. And the Alistar also are going to make things a little bit difficult there. I would be super hyped to see something like that, but into a Scion, you don't think you're going to see a Riven into Scion matchup here on the professional stage, and it is going to be tank to tank.
Yeah, the Shen, though, allows them to affect the bottom lane again. 1-3-1 looks like the name of the game here for 100 Thieves. They have good engage. They have some good disengage with Cody's son and Anda as well. But then you have really good split pushers on the opposite side. That's something that TSM won't be able to deal with is 2 split pushers because the Vel'Koz isn't going to take TP. He's not going to hang out in side lane.
One of 100 Thieves' strengths has been Aphromu's directing in the mid game. When you have more global tools like Ryze and Shen at your disposal, does make that a bit easier to try and get some objective victories, try and get some tempo plays going through the mid game to carry you on to later. But again, TSM, they have Kai'Sa and Vel'Koz, very good late game damage sources if you can keep them safe.
Well, interesting to think about Vel'Koz as well. It's actually his first appearance of the split and Bjergsen's second time ever playing the champion. So I know he's played it plenty in solo queue. It's something that a lot of mid laners every now and then have picked up in certain counter matchups or just when he feels strong. But not a super popular mid laner. Bjergsen confident enough here in his matchup.
Yeah, effective. A lot of the times people go, why would I play this when I could just play Xerath, which is easier to pick up? But if you put the reps in on the Vel'Koz, the harassment in lane is very potent. And Vel'Koz had actually been buffed slowly but surely. Little few AP ratios here or there, the Q damage, etc. Like, a lot of Vel'Koz mains are going like, hey, you can play him bottom lane as basically the bottom laner, right? And so I really want to see what he's able to do here on this.
Also, if we're reading this correctly, it looks like a glacial augment Vel'Koz. So Bjergsen wants to utilize his auto attack slows.
Give him the tentacle and then you knock him out.
As well, so you hit him with the auto attack slow can allow you to hit your knockup easier. And you're also going to have the slow of your own with your Q for your geometry angles to try and hit for your harassment. But I'm going to be very interested to see how he actually uses this because his auto attack range is not that long. And my best guess would be for the guaranteed knockup. That's going to allow you to more easily hit that.
Yeah, it's 525 basic attack range for the Vel'Koz, so he's always going to be in range of the E, the W of the Ryze. And so you had to make it worth it. You had to get the knockup pretty much every single time. And with a phase rush from Ryu, if he's still able to combo you, the Glacial Augment's not going to be as effective.
Maybe it's a rune profile thing. Haunter actually has Grasp in top lane, not Glacial Augment, so maybe they just needed to fit it somewhere in the composition. Looks like teams are spread out, though, and just kind of guarding their initial entrances, so won't see anything too crazy in the early stages. And I think that's going to become the theme for almost all our games here in this series. These teams do like to play slow, really like to push things through in the mid and late game. Last time around, it was 100 Thieves that really won those key exchanges. We'll see if TSM kind of change some of their fortune here, because style-wise and maybe even skill-wise, these two teams do feel very close.
Yeah, they feel very close because they play that slow early game. They wait for the scale-up. They pick some scaling lanes. They don't mind if they have losing lanes because they're playing for comp. And then when they get to the 20-minute mark, that's when things really turn on for these teams, when the team fights start. It comes down to who has the team that will operate in the best way given the circumstances in the game. For example, 100 Thieves, 1-3-1 is the name of the game here. Adequate, disengage, and engage. TSM, it's more of a 4-1 siege, or you use the 5-man because Sion is considered a really good engager. It's like Sion or in top lane is one of those big top laners that like to start fights, but you also have good disengage. So if 100 Thieves pick the wrong fight, you're going to have this Braum defending the Vel'Koz. You're going to have a Gragas Barrel separate the teams, and that's really what we're looking for here from TSM is 5-man or 4-man fights, whereas 100 Thieves kind of want to avoid those for the early and mid parts of the game.
Definitely should be the setup, and that is going to mean that flanking wards are extremely important once we do get to this stage. Early on, though, it is going to just be about tracking these junglers. Gragas has actually done a full red side clear here from Grig, and we've seen that much more frequently. Ever since the change to the small jungle camps where Krugs are worth so much more golden experience comparatively to the other ones. Now he's going to have a contest here with Anda, though, over the Scuttle Crab, and it is very dangerous versus a Trundle.
Somewhat tough battle to win, but Bjergsen is here first. Ryu, though, not far behind.
It's not in smite range. You need like 1 or
It's
2
the
more
Q.
hits.
Gonna zone it back away, and 100 Thieves do secure that first crab on the left side.
All right. Trundle going to be able to take over the vision around topside is actually pretty important for him as well. Uses that to invade and pop the plant on Grig over the blue.
And you can see Someday TPing back. He has the advantage in terms of push, so he can actually walk down here, put pressure on Grig, and then Anda might be able to steal this away. He has his smite back up, and it's going to pull Bjergsen from the mid lane too.
Yep, we are going to try something, but we'll see exactly what happens with Anda. May just wait and roam back in, but I think the buff's going to be too low. No extra vision, so late enough as it actually does re-invade. You're going to see Grig with the buff.
Yeah, he's going to find him here, chase him off the Grom. Now, he has smite and Grig does not. So that should give him the confidence to finish it and get out, but now he's been slowed.
Here's Haunter. Yeah, it could be problems here. Someday they're ready to protect. Maybe just force a fight. Anda just chomping away. There's a good taunt, finds 2. Someday going to pull the sword through as well. Ryu now going to chase away Bjergsen as Anda is forced to flash away. Someday still chasing down. Another taunt could really seal the first blood here. Onto Haunter, damage is good, but Bjergsen's run around. Now Bjergsen will be the target, gets rooted, forced to flash away. The knockup doesn't quite land onto Someday, who flashes out as well.
There'll be some 3v3 jungle skirmishes early on in the game, and 100 Thieves are actually going to force TSM recalls here on both solo laners, so the teleports come out early.
Yeah, but that's also Someday and Anda both using their flashes. Someday backs, he doesn't have teleport to get up there, and honestly, it's just a Gromp, man. It's just a Gromp. You can leave it at that point.
It starts with a Gromp, Cyrene. It always starts with the Gromp. Meanwhile, though, Bjergsen in the mid lane also used both his summoners. So it's interesting to see here where the follow-up will be. 100 Thieves can go mid lane and try and pressure this Vel'Koz. It's a very low mobility champion without the summoner spells. It's a perfect gank target. Ryze has Flash and Rune Prison, so they should be able to guarantee an engagement on him, and it's up to Grig and TSM to protect the Vel'Koz until he has those defenses available again.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of control wards around that area, not even control wards really purchased, and their wards are on cooldown. So this is where Anda, as the Trundle, can find an opportunity in with the pillar. And so Bjergsen is probably going to play incredibly defensive here. It'll probably just be wave clear and have no interaction. And I'm interested to see what Ryu does, because I think he should freeze the wave here in front. Yeah, he's absolutely trying to do that here. It is a cannon minion, and it'll do more damage. So he's going to have to push this one.
Yeah, both of them very aware of the situation with both summoners down on Vel'Koz. And Bjergsen, as you said, he's not going to step up. Vel'Koz, thankfully, does have long range and is going to be able to see us here. But even stepping up that far without the vision on both sides of him is a little bit dangerous, because Flash Rune Prison is all that 100 Thieves need to set this up to follow through with the pillar, and they'd be able to finish that off. So that's why he's zoning out the cannon. Actually, Ryu doesn't opt to take the damage from the Q and block that cannon shot, so Bjergsen cashes in.
Bjergsen playing very respectfully here, knows kind of the situation he's in, but I think in general, some of the early action and the Infernal Drake that's actually the first tier may call a lot of earlier action than we've seen before, as Afro finds a combo on Sven, but a good door from Mithy. Gonna block the follow-up.
Yeah, decent trade though. 100 Thieves with a sizable health advantage in lane as Mithy tries to use some relic procs to heal Sven back up. Cody Sun and Afromoon making pretty good display there of the Tristana-Alistar synergy.
And something that's going on here is Grig going to the opposite side, but Anda has control of this area. Control ward right there, another ward, and Ryu has
Ryu?
Grig's going to catch him, though.
Predator's up. Ryu flashes forward. They're going to try and seal the kill here. Anda, he's already around the side. Grig gonna have to run away. Flashes over the pillar and rolls away. But he slows Ryu with a barrel.
Yeah, and Ryu had to use his flash as well. But Afromu comes up from the bottom lane where they had priority, and he's going to allow them to continue on with this red buff steal.
Yep, steal completed. Anda able to
get the
smite that
blast
one away.
cone.
Blast cone to safety. Just walking away, actually. Mithy going to use it and get himself out of there, as Cody Sung was roaming up as well.
So they do pull off the invade and steal away the red, but it comes at the cost here. Afromu going to get stunned.
Yep, stunned there. No ulti for Afro. Could be the first blood. The ignite is down, but a heal from Cody is going to try and protect him. Not enough, though. He ticks down, and Mithy grabs first blood.
That's even bigger cost than I thought. It's first blood. going over to TSM there. And Mithy, he's a support, but he's happy to cash in. Now the tables have turned, and it's Grig invading on Anta.
Yeah, Grig is making sure that this doesn't go over to Ryu, and that's pretty much job done there. But hold on, doesn't get over it. There goes Cody with the
With a big
Shen.
blast going, but Grig, he's left for dead. Ryu able to take him down. There's the reset. Shen rides in, finds a taunt on Amithi. Good buy for 200 Thief. Good value, 2-for-1 trade.
Oh, these junglers are getting a little bit antsy. This time, Grig goes in, and he's the one to pay the price for the invade. Now it's going to be an even bigger one, Zyrene. Infernal Drake was the first Drake to spawn, and that will go to 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, very happy to pick that one up, especially since they have the Rise that'll make great use of it, and then the Tristana. This right now is starting off on the correct foot, absolutely for them, as your Acer Predator replay comes up here with Afromu. It happened again, Kobe. 4v5, Afromu off the table, gets killed by the Ignite being ticked down, and then they go for the invade when TSM have an advantage. This is 3 times in the last 2 games that they try to make a play when Afromu is dead, when they have an advantage on the map, and it gets turned around. Cody's son with the leap in, with Someday who hit level 6, ready to turn this completely around.
And it's a big point, right? Even though Afromu is off the table, neither Bjergsen nor Sven, the 2 carries for TSM, move up with that invade. That was an invade of your half-health jungler and your support. So they get collapsed on, and because 100 Thieves had the better team play, Ryu and Cody's son come over, they get the kills, and that is 2 of them in their pockets.
It's easier to coordinate your team when you're dead. You have to care about your own character. Afromu doing that in spades, directing them all around. That's going to be my excuse from now on when I die.
Yeah.
I just need to direct you guys better, no distraction.
Ult finds Cody, but he does hop away, so Mithy burnt that. And at this point, I kind of agree. 3 times in a row, it's becoming less of an accident and more of a strategy as 100 Thieves successfully baiting TSM in, but Ryu knocked up. There's the combo! Grig able to finish it off, but the tower aggro is enough for the trade kill.
The Glacial Augment auto attack actually helped out a little bit there. I mean, Ryu does have phase rush as well. In the end, Jungler does trade his life as Grig goes down because Anda comes to collect afterwards, but we got to see it in action, and Bjergsen did apply 1 auto.
There's some spicy junglers just going in after each other, but hold on.
Oh.
TP here from Ryu.
This is
to
rude.
flank his own lane, but there's a flash and a cleanse.
Flash used, now gonna have to cleanse, does use it, gets under the turret safely. Well played by Bjergsen.
1 summoner for 2, you'll take that deal any day, and then you can repeat gank, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, plus Ryu wanted to get back out the lane anyway, so using the teleport there. Here we go, though. Misses the Q. Glacial Augment helping there a little bit, even with the phase rush and the passive. Grig caught under turret afterwards, even with getting his ultimate off, isn't able to escape.
I like that from Bjergsen. Hits him with the Glacial Augment. It takes a second to ramp up to its full effectiveness. Doesn't slow them immediately. You can see as he got underneath the turret, is jogging a little bit slower, and that's when he throws the E, throws the knock up. And here comes Ryu.
Another bit of pressure though. Realm Warp gonna move Ryu in. Sven gets out of there with the ulti, but now 100 Thieves not be able to dive in. Afro, he's found the key target. It's Cody able to take down Sven, but Haunter with a TP flank ults in and finds Anda. Afro though still frontlining as the rest of TSM do arrive.
Yeah, Someday also teleported in, and now they're behind enemy lines here between towers.
A 5v4 proxy as Someday
Ryu on the
barely
side.
misses the knockup, but Ryu again gonna find the lockup. Good stopwatch though by Bjerg, but he's got no flash. He's left for dead as Ryu's able to get the kill. Haunter finds a knockup onto 2, but it's only the front line.
And Ryu has been having an incredible playoffs. The quarterfinals, he got player of the series. In their semis, he was holding on and doing so well. And here, 2-1 and 5, 100% KP versus Bjergsen.
Who said 100 Thieves don't have early game? We are only 11.5 minutes into it. They've already racked up 5 kills plus the first turret. Now, here's another look at it. Ryu roaming from mid lane with that rise that was highlighted by the analyst as one of his best champions. Cody's son is also on aggressive AD carry here, so Tristana can jump in and make the play. And then Bjergsen, even though he does have a stopwatch here on Vel'Koz, trying to play a little bit aggressively, throwing out some damage. Ryu just loops around the outside, hits him with the Rune Prison, and they're able to get another kill for themselves.
And I'm loving Cody's son in this game on the Tristana, the leaps in over and over again. And one of the things he's most known for is the Cody son of jumping in at Worlds and then dying when he tried to turn a fight around. Here you're seeing that risky going forward play style actually what he was going for, and that type of aggression pays off here.
Yeah, he's got the Storm Razor, so a lot of burst damage coming out with the first auto as well.
Good pillar there from under, though, as off around the Rift Herald. Mythians have actually rotated up to the top side of the map. So it looks like just a full-on swap here. 100 Thieves already got the turret in bot lane thanks to the earlier play. And it does, again, feel like maybe the Drakes are dictating some of this, but in general, 100 Thieves are showing that whatever time they are put into a position against TSM, they're just executing better. We thought the mid to late game would be the breaking point, but so far in this game, it's simply been the early game.
Yeah, that early game is something that has been cracked wide open here by 100 Thieves, and they can play the map. They have someday with those globals, they have the 1-3-1. And I'm looking here, Bjergsen looking for picks. Twin Shadows as his first item here on the Vel'Koz to get him some spooky ghosts that can slow up to 5 seconds. That's a long time to catch people and then land that knockup.
Yeah, plus it's going to get the Glacial Augment proc on it as
True,
well.
that's right.
With the slow active. So he's making full use of the rune choice now with the super speedy ghosts, and 20,500 gold here for TSM down versus 100 Thieves, who, on top of the extra turret that we talked about and these kills, they also got the Infernal Drake. So unlike last game where TSM was the one getting these objectives, all these neutral objectives of the Rift Herald and the Dragons, 100 Thieves are not giving them anything.
Yeah, getting this turret on the top side, 2 turrets for him. Now you just take Cody's son on this Tristana, move him around the map, knock down those turrets, and start getting an advantage. The mid lane looks like what's going to be next here for TSM to have to defend.
They got the Rift Herald, so it should be pretty easy pickings. His control ward does get spotted by Under. Cody's son contributes to that one going down. Mountain Drake also up right now, so a lot of objectives for 100 Thieves to play for. And for a team that generally has done well when even, this is the kind of lead that should scare TSM given the current situation.
All right, Rift Herald activated by 100 Thieves as well. Even though Predator was popped by Grig here, they're going to push down on this turret. Cody's son moves up, and they get the charge off.
Yep, but that's going to allow them to rotate down towards the Mountain Drake. Sven is on top side, just farming in the side lane, and he doesn't have teleport this time. He has the heal on the Kai'Sa to try and defend himself in this matchup and go 2v2. So he's not going to be able to show up on this bottom side of the map if they do start that Mountain Drake up. But you can see Cody, 80 carries drawn to farm like moths to a flame. He's going to go right up there and catch it, make sure they don't take that top turret.
Yep, able to knock that down. 100 Thieves maybe still playing for the Drake, but instead it's TSM that start off the second one and the first mountain in this game. Someday he's going to see this. Taunts over the wall just to make sure he's safe, but TSM maybe here a little too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, with Cody's son in the top lane, it looks like TSM should be able to secure this one. And they should be able to get the Scuttle Crab afterwards for themselves, but Cody's son is Tristana. So it's an 80 carry pushing on top lane. If that minion wave gets out of there quick enough, he could do a lot of damage. Doesn't want to risk it though, so it looks like he's going to recall in exchange here for the turret.
Dante, nice taunt, Grig, yeah, forced to flash.
Yeah, forced to flash out of there because he's not going to body slam at that point. Even used the ultimate and it didn't knock Someday away.
Someday has been so good on so many different champions. This time around, he's playing utility for his team, really good teleport early on, good taunts so far, and very good map awareness, making them pay a little bit of extra price there for that dragon and stalling the recall.
And I wonder what's going to happen here in terms of his build for maybe a Titanic Hydra, the wave clear in 1-3-1. But they have such a large advantage in this game, which is something that 100 Thieves usually don't walk around with in 15 minutes.
Oh, no way. This is 100 Thieves, one of their best early games that they have had all summer. You can see there the average stats was to be a little bit down in gold over the course of the split. But this one up well over 2,000 gold, and they have the ability to push the pressure here. Ryze and Shen perfectly split, or set up to split push here with the threat of Tristana taking your turrets.
And after that first game, we sat there and went, is Ricard just going to play the next one because he looked so good? This game has had a lot to do with the mid lane and Cody's son and being able to play around these two carries.
And you talk about the versatility of this team. After game one, they had to ban Someday's gank and that left open the Tristana, which they banned game number one. But Someday has to get out of there.
And he magic his way out. He flashes the wall. Just kind of whips out of there.
But watch the rest of the team. The rest of the team is like, maybe they help him, maybe they don't. They're going for the tier 2 in mid, pressuring that, and Ryu is pressuring the top tier 2.
TSM, though, need to get something for themselves. They cash in on some gold from the turret at least. This is where it starts for them. They have to farm up for later. Remember, they have the Kai'Sa and the Vel'Koz, both very strong. The later the game gets, Vel'Koz, especially with Glacial Augment and these Twin Shadows, is going to be creating very big areas of slow and damage for the team to try and work around. But they have to stop the bleeding because 100 Thieves are keeping it up.
Able to get that turret there, make it 4-1 there as we kind of talk again about Cody's son, a player that when he is back in the team, they really play much more through bot lane. And I think this time around, Cody may be that greedier player, but well justifying the performance so far, given that he has the lion's share of the kill and is set up to carry.
And 100 Thieves, after their semifinal performance, a lot of kind of trust was taken away from them, where it was like, if this team has the most championship points, if TL wins tomorrow, are they going to be a great representative at Worlds? There's been that conversation, right? But TSM, they went 5 games against Cloud9. Cloud9 heavily favored there. But here, 100 Thieves showing with Cody's son in, if they're able to take this game and go 2-up versus TSM, that gives a lot of faith in them coming back.
Someday is just dancing around TSM. Those Vens out of there. Afro gets the knock on a Grig instead, but Ryu also able to collapse 100 Thieves. So many globals with TSM. Maybe finally first to the scene. They'll take down Afro.
Slick escape there from Sven, and TSM are able to collapse first with the teleport from Hanser coming in. They find themselves a kill and some much needed momentum in this game. Now they can put down deeper vision in the enemy jungle to try and play off of. This lane is the lane with the turret down, so they have a little bit of room to work with.
Yeah, and that was Cody's son still farming in the mid lane. You'll see here, goes towards mid, tries to get the mid priority, doesn't really pay too much attention to this fight, and this starts off with Sven already being there, and then great dodge there from Someday, but it looks like he really does want to turn this around. Ryu uses the ultimate, the killer instinct puts Sven on the other side, and now Ryu wasn't in the right spot on his ultimate because that was just a quick turn there from Sven, and then they collapse on Afro Moo. Now 5v4 is what really kind of occurs there.
Everyone back out though, so TSM, we've seen them play maybe a bit too hasty in 5v4 situations already this series, so kind of need to slow pace things a little bit more, mainly just because of the map state. TSM still trying to knock down some outer turrets. Mid lane would be a great one to get. Twin Shadows is going to proc onto Ryu and slow him down, but we know 100 Thieves will try and defend this as long as they can.
Quite an annoying slow there. 5 seconds plus the line of ice that's left behind you. Gonna be able to slow any other teammates that are trying to help out. Regardless though, 100 Thieves move past it. They're gonna start pushing up once again. Right now though, Hanser is actually the one getting TSM the split push advantage, whereas 100 Thieves are kind of making the team-wide move through their enemy jungle here to make a pass and try and get a pick.
Yeah, and a lot of that is Baron set up with the vision. It just comes onto the table at 20 minutes here. And TSM, they're the ones who have the Mountain Drake, and they have a Kai'Sa with a Rage Blade. So leaving them alone with the Baron for any amount of time and leaving it unattended is pretty unacceptable because it'll probably get evaporated in about 10 seconds.
Drake may be caught here as well. Afro going to start things off, but there's Haunter roaming in with the ulti. Sven forced to killer instinct away. Is kind of the choke point's a bit awkward. Someday also able to ulti through, and now Mithy is taking everything he can in the front side. Double knock up there from Haunter. Massive damage there from Bjerg's ulti, and Andra on the side also going to get chased away. Twin Shadows popped Afro on the front side, trying to buy time, but he will die to Sven. There's Haunter, finds the knockup with the Ryu, chain knockup there from the Vel'Koz, and TSM pick off 2.
Again, the huge team fight damage from Vel'Koz, and Kai'Sa comes through for TSM. They win their fight in their own jungle with good use of the small jungle corridors to try and land those AoE abilities, and they're making their way back.
And there was just so much zoning there for Cody's son to not be able to get into that fight. He only got a few shots off onto Braum, but he's not able to participate because TSM are just doing a good job of disengaging, keeping him at an arm's length here. You see, they engage it, Sven comes in from the side and then regroups with his team down bottom, but they see Cody's son coming with the blue trinket. Has to hit Mithy, and then can't walk forward here, and then has to back up to Sion, has to back up because of the Vel'Koz, and not able to contribute much here.
Yeah, good use there by Bjerg to try and split the team. They force the retreat. Then there's Grig's ultimate on Gragas, which knocks 2 of them back in, followed up by Mithy's ultimate with Braum to lock them down.
Oh my
Bjerg's got another one.
So much damage there from this Vel'Koz, and that's with Twin Shadows and a GLP.
Yeah, and even if Afro had ultimate, the true damage is going to tick through. 0, 4, and 2 for the Spring Split MVP and the birthday boy. It's his birthday.
Birthday felt great after game 1, feeling a little less exciting now that some of the early celebrations have perhaps finished. Grig, though, with the help of Mithy, is going to take down this Ocean Drake. TSM will get that one without too much trouble.
And Bjergsen, slow duty. He's got Twin Shadows, GLP. Can't remember the last time I've seen the GLP. It's really just been like Aurelion Sol way back in the day. This is resurrecting some dead items that you almost never see in pro play.
Well, plenty of true damage comes out from Vel'Koz proccing those passive stacks, and he's going to be able to control the battlefield. Like we said, again, creates so much area of control for them, and it really does work with the rest of the team composition they've built. We highlighted Grig and Mithy's ultimates in the last one. They've utilized those pretty well to this point. Still, though, 100 Thieves retain the gold lead, and they have the scaling dragon with the Infernal Drake to try and fight these team fights. They also should have the split push advantage, keep Ryze and Shen splitting on the map so that when they do get into some confrontations, they should be able to get something in the side lanes out of it and try and kite back from TSM's team fight damage.
I think we have to talk about Cody again, though. Earlier, it was like, okay, he's maybe more of a greedy player, but he is set up to succeed. But we saw in that last team fight, Cody wasn't able to contribute much. So if you're taking all the gold, getting the resources in the sidelines as we are seeing, and on a champion like Tristana, if Cody Sun is going to force his team to play around him, he needs to succeed in his team fights. And that can be tough. TSM are obviously set up well to zone him out of the fights, but 100 Thieves, that's how they're going to win. So they need to find a way to make it work.
Hard for him to get around this Scion. Hauntzer now has a Warmox plus the Frozen Heart, and he's just going to try and be on the front lines, block out that damage from his longer range sources on his side, with Bjergsen firing overhead.
You guys have to watch the engage when Hauntzer comes in. He's going to be showing up a little later these fights. This looks like a top lane rotation. TSM just looking to ride this wave right towards that turret that's been eluding them. They still don't have that mid lane tier 1. And that's what 100 Thieves have been using as a big crutch in this game, because it gives you a much further map push onto TSM's side, and that gives you more time to do what you want and get vision afterwards.
Well, you can see 100 Thieves are still trying to counter push. You mentioned the Ryze, of course, Shen able to split push as well, but unlike TSM, who kind of felt like they were winning all of last game using the split push pressure from the Ryze, not as much effectiveness here. TSM, I think, maybe just playing a bit more aggressive and just threatening the split push.
Wait, Baron. They're doing Baron. They have the Mountain Drake. They have Kai'Sa.
And Ryze's bot side, Ryu with the teleport, but no vision here for 100 Thieves.
We talked about this. She melts it in like 10 seconds with only 2 people. Right now, Anda's going to see it.
He's got
Anda's
no
got
flash.
a blast cone. He's got no flash.
That's actually over to the blast cone, but Mithy with a great ult meets TSM. Secure the Baron.
They finish it off, and now they're going to have the team fight advantage plus the pushing advantage with Baron buff. They did cancel Hauntzer's teleport here, so they won't have as many tools to get around the map, but this is going to be a huge, huge bonus for them trying to get some of these towers off the field.
And that absolutely gets them back into the game. They were down about 2,000 gold, a little bit more before the fight started happening, and they were winning a few of them. TSM now 100% back to even here, but with that Baron buff to help them knock down turrets and siege and survive, so this Kai'Sa and the Vel'Koz can scale up.
Yeah, and we'll see how difficult it is for Cody Sun to get his damage off through a Braum, Unbreakable, as well as all the zoning tools that we mentioned for TSM when they bring the siege up to the turret. Predator is actually activated already, and there is the augment.
Yep, pop the Twin Shadows, so that's going to force Cody to jump away. Ryu also tagged by a W. So TSM is going to take down this turret. This was the easy one to get, though. How much more can they take with this Baron buff?
Yeah, but the wave clear for 100 Thieves, it's pretty much Ryu. You can block it as Mithy with the Braum if you wanted to. They're going to lose more turrets here. It's not easily accessible wave clear, and they have to use Someday as something that'll pull TSM towards them as TSM take a 2,000 gold lead.
No teleport on anyone from TSM, so Someday with double global pressure is at least going to force someone to go down there. We'll see if TSM can continue in a side lane, though. At least Sven is going to move up towards the top lane and get that shoving.
Meanwhile, trying to get some extra vision for himself to continue the split pushing here. 100 Thieves know that they have to use the side lanes in order to gain some positioning advantage on TSM here. Because once they're stacked up, the big tanks in front line, it's so difficult to get back there and get some damage onto the right sources. They have to come up with some sort of flank or get a little bit creative here to surprise TSM.
And TSM, Sven's going to start going for a defensive build, when you start getting to that third item, we used to see Death Cap for the Kai'Sa. It's kind of shifted more towards Zhonya's and Banshee's Veil, and even Mercurial Scimitar, because she does so much damage if she can stay alive. So you just focus on tools that can help you stay alive. So I assume it's the Banshee's Veil coming in here next for him, so that he can go ahead and avoid some things like the taunt or a taunt flash and make 100 Thieves have to work even harder to reach it.
See, red buff going to go over to Sven as well, as TSM still with a minute left on Baron, and Vel'Koz Kai'Sa, especially with more of that AP-oriented build, is not a bad poke squad trying to siege up the turret. Still, Someday is being a thorn in their side, but TSM might just try something behind the turret and try and get more, as Someday is starting to pressure that tier 2.
Yep, Someday continues to split push on the bottom side, trying to work away, but he's not going to do nearly as much work as 5 Baroned up members here of TSM that just bully ahead.
Afro finds Mithy. Ryu also following up, but the door goes up. Mithy's safe for now. Turret goes down, and that's killing it. Cody! Sven just killer instincts in. Now he's going to try and shred through the rest of the front line, and Someday he had ult, but he didn't use it. Must have thought Cody was going to live. But the key carrier's down, and TSM, they're going to keep going.
Yep, Nexus turret should be able. Oh, there they go!
Big damage there. Bjergsen melts down Ryu. And now on the front side, that's Aframu caught again. TSM going to keep going. Nexus Turret 1 in their eyes. They know they can end the game from this spot. And Someday forced to tank it up. He's going to be forced off. The Nexus Turret will fall again, and TSM are going to tie it all up here versus 100 Thieves. The Nexus exposed, and TSM with 1 Baron buff will take down 100 Thieves to even this up.
And that small little moment where 100 Thieves slacked off in the vision, TSM strike, get the Baron, and they take the game in 29 minutes.
Team fight prowess. They win the team fight in the jungle. Kai'Sa getting multiple items, and the multiple slows